What's up, guys? I want to talk to you about an install that happened that one of our guys did about a year ago, and I'll show you a picture here. Now, what's the first thing you think of when you see that install? I think hack. I think like I'm embarrassed to put my name on it. But here's what happened. Two guys went out to do that install. Obviously, one didn't know what the hell he was doing when he installed that outdoor unit because it looks like complete garbage. And obviously, number two, the experienced guy who went out with him didn't feel like he had the authority to say anything, to make the guy redo that install. So what happens is nobody says anything. And it takes about, close to a year before us to go back. And we go back just to do a routine maintenance. But when we did go back to do that routine maintenance, the guy who went, my team member who's on my team here, he took pictures and he's like, Kelly, you're not going to believe this. Like, I'm embarrassed that our sticker is on this thing. And when he showed me those pictures and I looked at them, I was embarrassed too. Absolutely embarrassed. And we have protocol, we have systems and processes in place to keep this from happening. But when you have somebody on your team who you've delegated that particular thing to, so, for instance, the guy who was supposed to be getting the pictures after every install, and he was supposed to be sure that he's monitoring those, just to quality control. Obviously, that didn't happen. Or if it did happen, they ignored it. So this is what happens when you have the wrong people on your team. I can understand the young technician, he's young, who was kind of in charge of that install. Young guy, I can understand him not wanting to ruffle feathers. Like, I get that. He's not there at a certain level of leadership yet to be able to step up and say, and stand your ground and say, look, you're going to redo that. I'll help you. Here's how we need to do it right. Let's do it right. I get that he wouldn't speak up and say something. But what I don't get is that the pictures didn't get turned in, obviously, because there's no way we would have just let that slide. It's one of those things where he probably said, "Oh, I forgot to take pictures, man. I'm sorry," and it just slid by, and that's what's unacceptable, because this was complete garbage. So what do we do in that case? And this is the thing that that keeps people from wanting to delegate some of that work to let somebody else go do an install or do service work. I get that, because nobody's going to do it as good as you. Nobody's going to care as much as you. So that's why you have to have systems and processes and protocol in place to try to stop that. But what happens when that person who you delegated that to, that responsibility to make sure every installation is done properly, by pictures or by stopping by the job, when they drop the ball? Well, then that's on me. So this is totally my fault. It's my fault because I didn't. So here's what we're going to do to fix this is every time we have an install, I'm going to know how many installs we did that month, period. Well, I need that many pictures to correlate with that many installs. So if we did 25 installs, then I need 25 pictures of jobs to make sure that those jobs got done properly. And that's what we're going to have to do, because we can't let things like that slide. And we can't let that happen again because it's embarrassing. So, of course, my guy, when he got out there and he saw it, he's like, we got to fix this. I'm like, you're absolutely right. We got to fix this. So we had rain in between, but we finally got back out there and we're able to bend the line set with some tubing benders. And we went ahead and changed where the disconnect was, and you'll see the picture here looks a lot better. It's not perfect. We tried to, we took a crowbar out there with some shovels and some pavers to see if there was any way to fix that pad that had settled so bad, but there was rebar. It was rebarred to the house, to the foundation, and they started to dig, and it was like, nah, this ain't gonna happen. And you know how that is, guys. That the concrete's probably 10 inches thick. So anyhow, we wound up just having to slide pavers under it, fix a disconnect, and yes, I did have them shoot a screw in that door on the jumper box, which was where the old disconnect was located. So I know it's still not perfect, but it looks far better than what it did before, and that's the way it should have looked when we left the first time. Sorry, I'm just getting over a cold. But it's something that keeps people from moving forward in their business, is to not delegate that stuff, because this kind of stuff can happen. And yeah, no matter how hard you try to keep it from happening, it can still happen, and it will happen. But don't let that stop you. Anything like that can be fixed as long as the customer allows us to come back and fix it. And he wasn't even complaining. Customer wasn't even complaining. We just said, hey, look, we apologize. This wasn't installed up to our standards. We're going to have to come back and just fix this. And we're going to make sure that, you don't have to go without it for any amount of time and all that good stuff. And we did. We went back and fixed it. And but anyhow, this stuff's going to happen. And it's inevitable. There's nothing you can do to keep every single job from not being as good as what it would be if you were personally installing it yourself as an owner, because nobody's going to care about your company as much as you do. And when it comes to guys turning other guys in, or girls turning some of the guys in, whatever, a lot of times they just won't do it. You can ask, that same guy who installed that condenser is no longer with us. And we had suspicions that he wasn't doing things up to par, or wasn't as good as we would like him to be after being with us for a year. And but none of the guys, we asked them all, like, how's he doing? How's he doing? Nobody would rat him out, if that's what you want to call it. And that could be a problem with our culture. Our job as leaders is to try to build a culture that shoves people like that out of it, just kicks them out. And but I also have a lot of young guys on my team, and so I think it's just a case of them not stepping into their leadership yet. So that's my job, is to get them to step up and be the leader that they're capable of. And we've got huge potential here. So that's challenge accepted. I'm willing to accept that challenge, and to get these guys to take leadership and not ever let something so disgusting happen again, because this is the crap that just disgusts me. And it's something that we'll never stand for. But just remember, guys, it can always be redone. You can always you can always right your wrongs. As long as the customer allows you to, you can always right your wrongs. But anytime you grow and you start delegating that stuff, and you give people more responsibility, sometimes they're going to drop the ball. But don't let it stop you. Don't let it stop you. And I'm going to tell you this also. You're going to wade through some sewage to, dig through sewage to find those diamonds in the rough. And if you hope you get what I'm talking about here. To find those diamonds in the rough to join your team, you may have to wade through some sewage. So I know that sounds horrible, but it's just true. We make bad mistakes sometimes when we hire people. And it doesn't matter how many times you bring them in. It doesn't matter, you can have them take 10, 15 different tests. You don't know what they're truly going to be like until they join your team. And then I'll even take that a step further, and you're not really going to know who they are until 6 months down the road, because that's about when the newness, the excitement of joining a new team and learning a new career, that's when that stuff starts wearing off. When that stuff starts wearing off, that's when you get to see the true colors of the person. And that's when you'll know if they're going to be a great addition to the team, or if it's time to relocate them to another team. So guys, hope you're doing well. Hope you're staying safe out there. Be sure to drink plenty of fluid. Stay hydrated. take your allergy medication. That's what happened to me. My allergies, I just woke up Thursday morning, my head was full and it drains into my chest, and I start coughing and was running a little bit of a fever. I know it's not the COVID. I felt better by Friday, just still achy from running the fever, so I feel so much better now, but it's just Saturday. So anyhow, guys, hope you're doing well. Take care of yourselves. Don't be like me and run yourself ragged until you get sick, where a little simple allergies can mess with your immune system. So love you guys. Take care. And hey, when it comes to marketing, I'm telling you guys, like, I have stuck my hand in the fire. I've stuck my hand in the fire and gotten burned, so you don't have to. Like, I've been burned so many times with marketing that I don't want you to have to go through it. So when it comes to your website, when it comes to if you need help answering the phones, if you need somebody to help you answering the phones, like when it comes to your Google ads, you can waste thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars with no return, period. So I'm just telling you, they're not all these companies out there. I mean, there are literally hundreds of thousands. I know I've barely scratched the surface, but all the ones that I've tried prior to the ones I'm using right now, I took the hit for you. Like, I got burned. I tested the water, and it's too hot. Like, it's too hot, and when it's too hot, it just doesn't make sense. So check out Market Today. MarketToday.com. MarketToday.com. They'll take care of your Google ads. They'll build you a killer website that will that you can absolutely be proud of. And you guys probably you don't realize this, but your website, the way your website's built, needs to be structured in a specific way. That way it talks to Google and it makes things, it like files it in order so that Google can actually put the two together. When somebody searches and the information is on your website, that's Google's whole job, is to make sure that they find the right information you're searching for. Well, if your website's not built right, you're not going to get found when people search for your services in your area. If they're not specifically typing in your name or your website, then they're not going to find you, because it has to be structured properly. So check out MarketToday.com. Like I said, I've been with other companies. I've spent probably $150,000 with other companies. I took the burn, of putting my hand on a hot burner and getting it hot and burning myself severely. Like, I've done that for you. I've already tested it for you. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. Go straight to a good source, which is why I'm sending you there, and have it done right the first time, guys. So go to MarketToday.com. Love you guys. Take care of yourselves. It's summer. Go make money. Boom.